Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor Combaluzier, a mining analyst at Red Cloud Securities. This session of our Oktoberfest Fall Mining Showcase will feature Fidelity Minerals Corp. Fidelity Minerals is assembling and advancing a portfolio of high-quality mining assets in Peru through the implementation of a strategic project generator model. From the company, we have with us Dean Pekeski, who's the president, CEO, and director, as well as John Byrne, the chairman. I'll note that if attendees have questions throughout the presentation, to submit them using the Q&A link, and we'll get to them after the presentation. This presentation is also available on the conference website. With that, I'll turn it right over to John and Dean to walk you through the story.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. I understand we're the last presentation in the Oktoberfest, and as they say, they always, hopefully, they've left the best to last. Fidelity Minerals, the normal disclaimers, you can read at your leisure. Thank you. Fidelity Minerals, I'm also the executive chairman of Lions Bay. We started buying Fidelity Minerals a couple of years ago, have restructured the company and assembled the portfolio of gold properties over the last 24 months. The capital structure, we have 61 million shares on issue. Lions Bay owns a little over 40% now, 43%. The board owns another, the board and former board members own another 10%. So it's fairly tight. The board itself, I'm the chairman. My experience, I've been involved in many gold mines over the last 40 years. The last gold mine the last company I established was Mandalay Minerals, which is listed on the TSX and has the gold mine at Fosterfield, near Fosterfield in Victoria, Costerfield. I acquired that. Dean Pekeski is our CEO. Long history as a geologist, and more recently as a project manager. Not more recently, he's been involved as a project manager, I guess, for 15 years. Anthony Ballack is our CFO. Ian Graham is another independent director who is a geologist, former Rio as well. And Manuel Delfin is our in-house country manager, very experienced and doing a great job down there. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Dean to take you through the properties, and hopefully we can get to some questions after. Thank you.
Perfect, John. Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. My name's Dean Pekeski. Here today to talk about Fidelity Minerals and the projects that we have in Peru. We're going to talk today about the Las Huaquillas project, which is essentially our key asset and main focus going forward through 2021 and 2022. We're going to be talking about historic resources today. These are not current. They're not current by the definition of NI 43-101, and as such, I caution the folks on the webinar today to just be aware of that. We are in the process of producing a current NI 43-101 report that will classify these resources properly as being historic, and you'll see that report coming out in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Having said that, Huaquillas hosts a historical resource of 6.5 million tons, grading 2.12 grams per ton gold and 25.2 grams per ton silver, constituting 446,000 ounces of gold and 5.3 million ounces of silver. It's an epithermal resource, low sulfidation. I'll show some information on an upcoming slide that describes its aerial extent. The interesting part about the Las Huaquillas gold resource is that it's actually flanked by 2 porphyry copper systems that have been drilled historically, with very interesting intercepts that we're looking forward to drill testing in the near future. Want to point out that we do have 3 other projects: Las Brujas, is a prospective epithermal gold project located proximal to Yanacocha external caldera. We've been sampling there for the last couple of years, mainly surface sampling, soils, rocks, channel samples, completed some geophysics, and have been encouraged by some of the grades we've been seeing at surface, up to 15.3 grams per ton gold and 130 grams per ton silver. Throughout 2020 and into 2021, we've had encouraging multiple zones with encouraging results, and that's been great for Fidelity. Our goal now is to identify perhaps potential partners that would like to assist at Brujas. I'll mention porphyritic copper and Cerro El Bronce, two other projects that are early stage within our portfolio as well, that we would be looking to partner with others on. In terms of just where these projects are located and where Las Huaquillas is located, we're talking northern Peru. Las Huaquillas is in the porphyry skarn belt in northern Peru, fairly proximal to the border with Ecuador. The Miocene metallogenic belt for which Las Huaquillas is situated within extends over a long distance, 900 kilometers along the Western Cordillera, and has some quite notable deposits, gold and copper deposits, which you can read on this slide. So we're in the right area code. We're in highly prospective terrain, and we're looking forward to advancing our project. The project itself has received extensive historical exploration since the late 90s. It was extensively explored by Sullivan in the 90s, and Sullivan had reported a historic non-43-101 compliant gold resource, as I described previously. There was multiple zones within that resource. The claim package that you see on the right-hand side of the screen, the core zones of claims, there's 9 concessions, about 3,600 hectares, for which Fidelity has acquired a 50% interest. And on the next slide, I'll describe our interest in our joint venture partner at Las Huaquillas. Surrounding those core claims, we have another 3,800 hectares of contiguous mineral title that we believe is prospective and that we will explore in the near future. So we certainly have a sizable land position, multiple zones of mineralization. And the thing to note about our project is that it has largely since 97, 98 been unexplored. It has been mired in some fits and starts of exploration activities with previous operators. Current joint venture partner Alexander Vider has held the 50% ownership of the project for some time, but certainly there's been no exploration since the sort of 2010, 2011. Project was acquired by Fidelity, acquired a 44.5% interest in 2019. And since that time, we've been working hard with our joint venture partner to restructure the agreement, which we're happy to say we did in July of this year. We acquired an additional 5.5% interest, bringing our interest up to 50%, to cash payment in lieu of that increased interest. And we've committed to fund $3 million US in exploration activities. Goal to be generating a new NI 43-101 report that describes current resources at Las Huaquillas. That's targeted for September of 2022, subject to permit approvals and all the drilling being completed. The intent, once the 43-101 once the exploration is completed and the report is generated, we'll have earned our interest. And it's likely that our joint venture partner will wish to market the project for sale. We hold significantly, we hold the right of first refusal on the sale of that interest, and so as such, we're positioned well to acquire a future interest in the project, subject to the exploration activities being completed in 2022. This is a defined event. We're working very hard to position ourselves with permits such that we can advance our exploration as soon as possible in the near future. In terms of the historic work at Las Huaquillas, It's ranged over a large caldera structure, displaying extensive and pervasive alteration and mineralization, fluid mineralization along pathways that includes low sulfidation epithermal and mineralized porphyry system. There's been extensive exploration on this project, both at surface and underground. There's underground workings that Sullivan had developed, about 400 meters of underground workings, which we are in the process of evaluating, subject to us getting access from surface right ownership. We expect to be in a position to reestablish those underground workings and conduct mapping, sampling, and metallurgical testing on the ore body itself, which is quite exciting. Obviously, this project's received a lot of other exploration activities, geochemical sampling, soils, rocks, IP, magnetics. It's well developed. It's not a situation where we've got a grassroots project here. We've got an extensive database historically of information that we can benefit from. In terms of the geology itself, the Las Socavones zone is the epithermal system of interest, where the historic gold resource is situated. The mineralization occurs at the northeast end of the Las Socavones zone. This zone is about 2 to 2.5 kilometers long. It's 20 meters wide, and it's known from drilling intercepts to a depth of about 200 meters. That depth likely extends, and one of the goals in our upcoming exploration drilling program is to increase the size of the Las Socavones mineralization and bring on more ounces as we complete exploration activities. So we see it's open along strike and at depth. And we're looking forward to getting permits in hand to conduct those activities. In terms of the other geological features of the property, the Las Socavones zone is flanked by two porphyry systems: Cementario, which is to the south, and San Antonio, which is to the north. The Cementario copper gold porphyry system, it's about 1,000 meters south of Socavones. It's got extensive alteration. It's a 600 by 900 meter semicircular intrusion, diorite intrusion, and very interesting grade intercepts from the 90s drilling. Hole 9704 returned 0.47 copper, 0.11 grams per ton gold, and 4.5 grams per ton silver over almost 100 meters, over 99.5 meters. So it's got size. During the period of exploration in the 90s, it didn't receive a lot of attention based on those results, but in today's context, it certainly is very interesting. Similarly, San Antonio represents a very similar type of intrusion, perhaps a little bit smaller. Historic drilling intersected encouraging grades, but it's certainly not as high as Cementario. Interesting thing about San Antonio is that it remains open to the northwest in terms of its surface expression and soil geochemistry, and we're looking forward to understanding better the geology and the mineralization that occur at both of these features. So to summarize Huaquillas, we've got multiple ore bodies here, we believe, from historic work. Socavones will be our focus in terms of the drilling program to increase ounces, but we will be testing these porphyry copper systems, which we feel are highly prospective and interesting. In terms of finance and budget, near-term priorities are to conduct mapping and sampling, which we've commenced and will continue to do so. We've recently just assessed the underground workings at Huaquillas. They're about 100 to 200 meters in depth. There's 400 meters of underground workings. We would like to get underground and reestablish those so we can see the ore body at depth and better understand its geology. Permitting has begun. We have identified several drill pads that we are advancing towards having permits in hand by, we hope, March 2022. We've started our community engagement program and have been engaging with all local stakeholders. And the goal of all this work is to position ourselves to drill as soon as possible and then publish results of that drilling by way of a NI 43-101 report by September of 2022. We've developed a budget, which you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, we're looking at about $4.5 million to fund all these activities, including our corporate overhead to the to September of 2022. So yeah, John, did you have some words you wanted to share in terms of
Let's see if there's any
Yeah,
questions.
we're actually right out of time, Dean, so we're going to have to wrap up there. But thank you very much, Dean and John, for presenting Fidelity Minerals to us this afternoon.